Hello, welcome to today's podcast, today's show. We're going to be talking about our health and how it affects our relationships and how to handle health challenges in a marriage specifically. You can apply this to business relationships, the relationship you have with yourself, friendships, but I specifically want to really hit on helping in a marriage when we're having these health challenges and ways to look at it. If you are new to the podcast, I am Heidi and I help women feel better. I help them through emotional stability, reaching emotional stability through focusing on daily rhythms over extremes. I help them use love as medicine. We focus on whole person healing and it's gentle support, evidence-informed support. We focus in the areas of physical health, emotional health, intellectual and social as well. So, really getting to a place of peace, and that peace brings a feeling of freedom. So, if you want to work with me personally, please go to my website, or even in the podcast notes, you can schedule a call with me, a short call, and I can listen to you and see if we would be a good match for me being your coach through whatever you're going through. So, this topic of health challenges affecting our relationships has been on my heart to talk about since the beginning of the year, maybe even end of 2025. And I've wondered how to go about it because there's just so many ways to go about it. And, but I think it's really on my heart because my heart breaks for women who are having health struggles that then lead to it being making their marriage harder. And um, some of the time, these women are in abusive marriages, bad situations, and other times it's just really a decent marriage. But then this health thing is just throwing a wrench in so many areas of the marriage that it's causing the marriage to want to collapse and decay. And um, I also just have such a love for marriage, the institution of marriage. I think it's when it's done right, it is incredible. There's these two powers, right? We've got a man and a woman, and they're coming together and they have different strengths and different weaknesses. And together they can conquer so much that's thrown at them that would be harder to tackle alone. So I feel like marriage gets a bad rap because of this person's situation and this experience that they had. But overall, I think it is a really good thing when there is understanding, when there is a basis of love and respect for one another. And then if you have a spiritual connection with each other, or a spiritual foundation, like a faith in God, in a creator, then any of those foundational things, whether they're values or beliefs, can really make this marriage really strong and last a long time. But not even just that, that in the journey, in the all of the stuff that comes at you, you can actually enjoy it. You can weather the storms. You can be okay. Um, I personally, without my husband, the trials that I have had and that we've gone through have have been really difficult. Okay, I don't think I said that very well, but I'm so grateful for my husband, and he has helped me through my personal struggles. And then together, we've helped each other through the bad stuff that's happened to us. And bad stuff is going to happen. That is part of this, of our experience on the earth. And this very short time that we get in mortality, bad things are going to happen. It's part of it. So because I really love marriage when it's done well, it breaks my heart to see so many marriages end because of the extra stress and hard things that are added because of health struggles. I want to just share an example, a what do you call it? Um, an example that has parallels to it. Let's imagine that we're you're going to go for a hike and you're going with a group of people, or let's say if you're thinking of your marriage, it's you and your husband going on this hike. You have prepared. You have the right shoes. You have a plan. You know how long it's going to be. You know how much, um, like the mileage, how many miles this hike is going to be. You have the right clothing. And maybe you have a guide. Maybe it's a paper guide that you're taking with you, or maybe it's an actual person that's this guide for you um, on this hike. And you know, going into it, something's probably going to go wrong. Um, maybe the hike is supposed to be 3 hours, and there's a chance that you're going to get stuck somewhere, and um, you go into it knowing that, and you've probably packed a lunch if it's going to be a long hike. And then on this hike, while you do encounter some difficulties, one other thing happens. One of your shoes gets really uncomfortable. And it doesn't even matter what creates it, right? Like we could say you get a rock in your shoe, and so you have to keep stopping to get out the rock. And it just keeps happening over and over again. And, or maybe it's that there's just a part on your foot that it's rubbing and it's just bothering you again and again. And think about how this would affect your hike and the experience you have on this hike. Maybe even what you tell people after the hike about the hike. You adjust it, right? If it was a rock, you dump it out and you keep on going. Um, but think about that for a minute. Like, how does that uncomfortable shoe affect this hike and this experience? Excuse me. Now, maybe you can already see it, but I want to parallel this with your marriage. You prepared for marrying this person that you've chosen to walk beside you in this life, and maybe even for forever. Okay. Whether you think you were ill prepared or well prepared, okay, whatever it was, you prepared in some ways. You also had somewhat of a plan. Maybe that plan was based on the love I have for this person. I'm willing to go through whatever obstacles come that way. Or maybe it was a very uh, more specific plan, maybe financial details, maybe that you have a house, or in 3 years, we're going to buy a house. We're saving up. We're doing these years of school and then dot, dot, dot. Maybe it was really detailed. Either way, you're in this marriage and things happen that you expected. You expected to have some things not go how you wanted them to go. But then you have this thing that happens that it's like that shoe just being uncomfortable. You're going along, and then, just this discomfort. Like that can be a health challenge. And that health challenge, whatever it is, maybe you are living with a premenstrual disorder. Maybe you found out you can't have kids. Um, maybe you're extremely tired all of the time and it's affecting a lot of areas of your life. But really, in like the whole scheme of things, while it's affecting all of these areas of your life, it also may just seem like this discomfort, this rock in your shoe. And if it does, we're likely to kind of put it off that it matters. We're likely to just kind of it's just this thing that I have and it bothers me. At times we might get really dedicated and desperate to solve it. There may be times that that rock has just created a really bad blister and you're like, I am doing nothing but taking care of this blister. And there may be times with your health challenge that you're like, I'm doing nothing except figuring this out. I'm going to take 2 months, 3 months, whatever it takes. I'm going to go to every doctor, every specialist. Um, I'll follow their protocols with vitamins and supplements or medicine. We may do that. And yet, the bigger picture is we have this marriage that needs protecting, this marriage that needs to be able to still exist and be okay. It doesn't have to thrive and have fireworks all of the time, but it needs to be okay even while we experience a health challenge. I'm not telling you that it's easy, but I do I want to just give you this example so that when you recognize those actions you're taking from the discomfort of your bad health, that you can recognize that's what's going on, not that the marriage is bad necessarily, like that you need to change something in your marriage. Oh, I just noticed you can see my little curtain holder thingy. That's what it is, if you're wondering. Anyway, so thinking back to that hiking experience, while you're on the hike, some things that might happen are you just won't enjoy the hike as much with that uncomfortable shoe. You might want it to end sooner. Like, I just, this is just getting so annoying. You might want to take more stops. You might, um, it might be harder to see the beauty, to enjoy the fresh air, to take in this gorgeous panorama that's in front of you. And I've distilled this down to kind of two things that might happen. One is that all of the good that's happening on this hike is lessened, it's dampened, and all of the bad is amplified or made worse. So if you have this uncomfortable shoe and then um, you go to get your sandwiches and you forgot to put the jam on the peanut butter sandwiches, that's going to be a little worse, or potentially could be affected because of the discomfort you're already having with the shoe. Um, this can happen with your marriage too. You might have an amazing and an incredible marriage, a great relationship with your spouse, and this illness, this this health hardship that you're going through is putting on a different set of glasses that's telling you our marriage is awful. We need to end this thing. There's nothing good here anymore. All of the good that's happening in your marriage, your husband buying you flowers, your um, that trip you took and you had an amazing time. Now in the rearview mirror, it's just like, oh yeah, we did that thing. And you're forgetting, you're not basking in the good that was there, the memory of it. Let me turn my page of notes. So I really want to give you kind of that feeling. I know maybe that's not some direct counsel, but I really want you to feel what that feels like on that hike. And hopefully you can transfer that into what maybe you're feeling in your marriage sometime so that you can chalk it up to this darn stupid, annoying health challenge. Your marriage might be just fine. That guy that you married, he might still be pretty amazing. So my takeaways for you are that feeling, hopefully, that you can recognize when this is coming up for you, that your health challenge is creating discomfort and it's having an effect on how you're viewing other things, including your marriage and your relationship with your spouse. Um, I encourage you to talk about it with your spouse. Put it out there in the open. Hey, I think this struggle is having an effect on our marriage. What do you think? Keeping a dialogue open with this person that you've joined together to have a lot of fun in your life, to experience joy, not just to go through hard things. So talk about it. I encourage you. Another takeaway is to apologize for the actions that you take from this place of annoyance, from this place of lack of sleep, from this place of maybe a lack of faith and trust in and confidence. Maybe you just don't feel very confident right now. Apologize for the actions that are not in line with the person you want to be or the marriage you want to have. If you were one of those couples that set up really clear agreements in your marriage, apologize when you fall short. There's nothing um, bad about apologizing. Um, well, apologies can be good. You do not need to apologize for things that are untrue. Um, but those actions that you take from a place of annoyance or desperation or just not feeling well, apologize for those actions. Um, listen to their concerns and to their ideas. Together, look for possible improvements. Look for ways to strengthen your love and your companionship. Also, ways to strengthen the compassion you have for each other. Um, do things together that are fun, that you enjoy, or you might have to kind of take turns like, hey, I really want to do this thing and I really want you to come. Let's do it. And sometimes you get to be the one that's like, I don't really want to, but okay. It turns out good. Like I'd say 90% of the time, if you're honest about it, like, I don't really want to, but I will do this for you. And if you're not in a place, like you're really not in a place that you can do that thing with them, then communicate that. I just really can't right now. I really don't feel well enough. And that's okay. That's okay to do too. When you do things together that are fun or that are good or that make you laugh, I think it's good to have pictures and then to transfer having the pictures, maybe you have them on your phone, I know is really common, to actually printing some, put them up on a wall, um, make a photo book. Whether you're getting the photos just printed at Walgreens and buying a photo book, a photo album and putting them in, and then you can put that on your somewhere in your house, your bookshelf, your mantle, maybe right on the kitchen counter so that you look at it. Um, you need the memories of the good things and the good times when you have the hard times. And when you're having a health challenge, um, it's nice to be able to remember the good and have tangible evidence that life was good and that it will be again, um, or the hope that it will be again. Maybe you can't get that exact memory again because of a health challenge, but remember the good then. That's good for our soul. Um, with each other, another takeaway, another thing I would encourage is to give and receive grace and compassion from each other. If you have a relationship where you are saying, you're sarcastic, um, there needs to be some good communication. And sarcasm, I know people claim that it can be that they can have a good marriage and they do these little digs on each other and it's okay and it's how we are. I'm not going to say that's not true. I don't know every marriage that exists in the world, and I don't know the quality of that marriage. There's no little thermometer I can take and like measure your marriage. But I believe that there has to be some good. There there needs to be some grace, like, and some compassion, some love, some kind words, some compliments. I don't think a marriage can be healthy without those. So if you do some of the sarcasm, okay, maybe it's fine. You need to compliment your spouse. You need to recognize the good that they do and tell them verbally out loud. You need to hug them and say, "Wow, I noticed that you unloaded the dishwasher." Um, that needs to be part of this whole thing. And then when you have the health challenge, you're already doing those things, hopefully, and you can remind yourself to continue doing those, even though you don't feel as good right now. Um, Hugs and holding one another is something that can be really good. And I've realized that sometimes when we want it the least, whenever we want to shut ourselves out from the world, is when we need it the most. I think our Father in heaven gave us physical bodies and physical relationships, this person who's here physically and they can touch us, they can scratch our back, they can massage our feet, they can hold us in their arms. I think that is a gift and it can combat some of the sadness, the despair, the hopelessness. So keep that going. Um, and when you don't want to receive, if this is someone that loves you and you have a loving relationship, I challenge you to receive their hug, to receive their holding, to receive their words of kindness. Bite your tongue when it when you want to make some retort that challenges their compliment. Just don't say it. Receive it. And if it only is received even on just your outer shell, that's okay. In time and when you're feeling a bit better, it can sink in, or at least you didn't offer the retort that forced that off of you, and put up a wall. Um, just one more thought I had is that right now it's you going through this health challenge, but later it might be them. So figuring out good ways to keep your marriage healthy, keep it vibrant, or keep it okay, like in a kind of a good place, is worth your time. It's worth your energy. It's worth biting your tongue. It's worth looking for the good. It's worth doing things together. And I want to add also, it might be your child later. And so the things you learn from your health challenge and how to keep this relationship. Right now, maybe it's a marriage, how to keep this okay, even when you're having a hard health challenge. Those skills, those mindsets that you develop, maybe you look back on this hiking analogy that can move into these other relationships you have. And when your spouse encounters a health challenge that throws a wrench into their plans and their life, maybe their career, hopefully you can draw on your experience, and hopefully together you've talked through some of these things and you've come up with ways that the two of you can handle them, ways that you can be together and enjoy time together, even during a health challenge. Thank you for being here and listening, and we'll talk to you next week.